Hey everyone, it is about 1:30 in the afternoon. I did some stuff this morning. I'm going to cut back to that in a second, but I want to talk to you guys. I finished the iron altar yesterday, and I tell you what, I am so sore. I worked out in the morning, which you saw if you watched the video. You should go watch the video. It's my best video so far. My shoulders are sore, my biceps are sore, my forearms are sore. Everything is sore right now. So working out in the morning and then lifting steel around all day was pretty tiring. And I woke up and I was tired this morning, and it was a kind of a groggy day. You'll see in a second, but it's raining outside and it just started snowing actually. So a little bit of a flurry before spring is officially here, I guess. So right now I was listening to the Adam Savage podcast and getting a little energy. I like some of his podcasts, not all of them, but it's pretty good. Anyway, what I want to talk to you guys about and show you something is, as you can see, we have Build the Mark 1. Ooh, that's wrong. I've been meaning to do this. So if you were super astute and you saw my stuff before, you would notice that this should not be sleeve. This should be bladder. Like that. So anyway, those are the things I'm working on. So these are the things that I'm working on right now. So let's talk about this one right here. Get a part-time job. Guess what? I got a part-time job. Boom. Cron was something that Alan put on my computer. If you saw that episode, that'll make sense. If not, forget about that. Now, build this, test this. Right now, still waiting on this. Not going to do this yet because I'm going to build the Mark 1. That thing I built, the iron altar, didn't stick, is I developed it so I could build the Mark 1. So now what I'm going to do over the next few days, what you're going to see from me is me switching from hardware mode to software mode. And I'm going to switch over to that. So I'm thinking about all of this right now. I'm thinking about everything. Right now what I'm going to do is I've been thinking about how the suit, how it's going to turn and move on me and do all the joints. I've just been thinking about the joints and how I'm going to build the skeleton and the joints and the frame of the Mark 1. And then I'm thinking about how I'm going to weld it together. I got the stand, I got the table, the altar to build it now. So I got that. So now I have what I'm going to build it on. Now I'm thinking about how I'm going to weld it, and we have options. We got a stick welder, we got a MIG welder, and we got a TIG welder. So I'm thinking about that. I'm back and forth. I think maybe the MIG, tack it together to burn the frame together, and then try to do TIG maybe to do the frame. I'm not sure. I've been thinking about those things, so I'm thinking about that. Right now, what I'm mostly going to do is I'm going to really focus in now on building the CAD, and I plan to do this. It's probably going to take me multiple attempts. So over the next few days, I am just going to work on this thing and just hammer and beat at it and until it conforms to my will and works how I want. So I'm thinking of all of it right now. I have to build a stand to hold it. I have to figure out how I got to get into it. I have to figure out how I'm going to get off the stand, get into the suit, get out of the suit. All that stuff has to be figured out and ready to go because I can't really afford to fuck up and do this multiple times because it's expensive. So now what we're going to do is we're going to switch back to where I was a little bit more tired this morning, and I started talking to Tim, and we got to play around with his TIG welder. So I got a little bit of an idea of how that works and what I'm going to do with that. So now we're going to switch to that. It's one of those mornings in Denver. It's all rainy and dark, and for whatever reason, it reminds me of being a child in Texas when my parents used to drive me to school and stuff like that. I don't know why, probably the moisture, but I enjoy mornings like this. There's the altar.
Looks pretty good.
You like it?
Yeah.
You're all bundled up.
Yeah, true and everything?
Yeah, it worked really well, but there is something that happened. So what happened is these are all welded on here, right?
Right.
And they heated up and they cooled, so they pooled on the metal.
Right.
And what they did is they caused a little bit of it warped this way just very slightly.
Really?
Yeah. So I think if we took like a piece of bar or something, and we just a round bar or something, and then we tacked it in every single one of those places, but hot, underneath, it would probably warp it back the other direction. That's the one. Good. I'm glad. I deliberated about this for a while.
Yeah. Because you can sit with this chair right here. It's fine.
Yep, I did it for that chair too. Back in Tim's place. This is his TIG right here. So I'm gonna look at it and take some measurements. And what we're gonna try to do is try to make a jury-rigged, like steampunk kind of pedal that will control this knob, because this thing doesn't take a pedal, and you really need a pedal to TIG properly. So I'm told. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look at some bearings and some stuff I have over there, and see if I can't fix something up to make this a pedal that we can use this with. So good to go.
Go for it. Yeah, you did a good job for the first one. Fuck yeah.
That's not bad.
Not bad at all.
All right, everyone. It is much later in the day. I'm in the Matrix right now, meaning I'm on my computer. I spoke with, so after leaving Tim's house and playing around with the TIG welder, I came in here and I've been working. Like I said, it's much later in the day. It's pretty much dark out now. I've been in here working on the Mark I frame, the exoskeleton frame that I keep talking about. So I got one of the joints mostly figured out now. So if we look, all right. So this is what I got right now. So this is me, half naked. This is a 3D scan I had made. And then here I put in the green line is my spine, is where my spine would be. That was just drawn in. It does not, well actually it does, yeah, it extends pretty much perfectly right up to the base of the neck there, or into the head there. Anyway, I've only made one joint, but it's the most difficult joint. It's the joint that has given me the most trouble, has been the hardest to figure out. And that's the ability to go like this. So the ability to turn like this, so turn in the sagittal plane of movement. So the lumbar moving in the sagittal plane has been the hardest to figure out, and it's because the axis of rotation is so far towards the back. So it makes these circles. If we look at it from the top, turn the spine off, the rotational spot is right about there where my cursor is. It's right about there where my cursor is. So this circle is a much smaller circle than it is to this circle, but these both spin around the same point. And then this right here and this right here is where it's going to bolt and unbolt. So let me show you how this works. Show you guys how this works. So like I said, this is all going to be made out of water jet cut mild steel. So they can be welded if need be. Even though I'm starting to realize a lot of this is going to actually be bolted together. There are going to be parts that are welded together, but a lot of it's going to be bolted. So everywhere you see a hole, there's a round hole anyway, is pretty much going to be a bolt with a nylon lock nut washer on it. So that'll keep them from rattling loose. And then so here, this is going to be going down towards the legs. So if we turn the bodies back on, this part is there's gonna be a joint that comes out here, and it's gonna rotate right here, right there where the cursor is, which you might not be able to see, but right there. And so if we looked at it from the side, it'd be right there. So there'll be a joint there, and then there'll be a joint here. This will be this joint. You see how this is moving? Pretty neat, huh? So this moves like that, and so that'll allow, and those will be moving at the same exact. Those are moving around the same axis of rotation, even though they're two different size circles. And on top of that, they're in addition to that, this is the same angle. It's about 90 degrees, and then it's going to be less than 90 degrees of travel because this right here takes up about, I think, 12 degrees. So 90 minus 12 is 78 degrees of movement from here to here, like this. 78 degrees of movement from here to here. And then the next thing we need to do is come in here, and there'll be another joint right there, and that'll allow you to go this way, like that. So that joint will allow you to go this way. The one I talked about building right here will allow you to go forward and backwards, and there's actually going to be two of those. There's going to be another one up above, because this is where you have the most movement. And then this joint right here allows this way like this. So this thing, let me show you how this works really quick. So it's kind of neat actually. Turn this off, turn this off. Good. So in here you can see these pieces of brass. These brass pieces are spacers, and those are going to be cut out with scissors or a knife or shears of some sort. And what that does is it puts an appropriate amount of space right there in between these so that when this is clamped right here, so in these parts right here, which is the part that moves, this is the movable part, the smaller part, so that when that is clamped down and bolted down, it still has room to move around. And then it's also tolerance on the inside, so they're not rubbing up right up against each other. And then the idea is that'll be packed in grease or oil, one of the two, to allow for it to be really slippery and move around. But no roller bearings, so no ball bearings, which is not how a lot of machines are made, but it's not how people are made. People are made like this. People are made with low friction surfaces and a lubricant. That's how your joints work. That is it for today, ending on the screencast. I'm going to edit this video, and then tomorrow I'm going to be working on this, and then probably the day after that I'm going to be working on this, and then probably the day after that I'm going to be working on this. But I'll start to get it figured out and probably be moving a little bit more quickly, and then hopefully very soon we will have a quote on how much this will cost to have made. So hopefully soon we'll be getting it made. Until next time, peace, guys. Look how bright and snowy it is out here.